Some of my best memories at the table are slinging dice, holding ground with the king, praying for one more claw just so I can keep Panda Kai and Cyber Bunny on the ropes. King of Tokyo is a popular game for a reason, and with so many games over the years that have come and gone from my collection, it's one of those ones that has managed to stick around, which is why I so badly wanted to check out the recent cooperative follow-up, King of Monster Island, which, in spite of playing it a little too safe and some idiosyncrasies, manages to do some really cool stuff. The first and foremost physical feature of this fiendish follow-up is the large and in-charge dice volcano at the center of the board, which may seem gimmicky, which it is, but has a functional purpose. The board itself is divided into 6 sectors, and the one of 3 villainous bosses you choose will perform actions based on their card and the boss dice rolled through the volcano, populating the board. Each turn, inactive boss dice are rolled, the boss stays put or moves to an adjacent spot with the most dice, activates all his minions there to cause damage to monsters or build up game-ending crystals, then uses the dice to put out more minions, more crystals, or get those good old-fashioned King of Tokyo stars, which here work as an experience point system for boss and players alike, unlocking new abilities. After the boss does their thing, the player does a pretty familiar Tokyo turn, rolling dice, taking up to 2 rerolls, and spending the results. You get energy to buy cards with one-time or ongoing abilities, attacks to kill minions or damage undefended bosses, footprints which can move you about the board, stars for the aforementioned leveling up, and wrenches which can build reusable support boats, treated as an extra dice result in that sector that can either be flipped up for future use or flipped over to cash in once per turn. The biggest difference, aside from the whole movement thing and, well, the whole cooperative thing, the most surprising difference is the move away from powered up cards. For those of you who don't know, Powered Up was and is a pretty legendary expansion that elevated the original game from good to great, taking your fun but ultimately lifeless character standee and giving them their own unlockable powers. And co-ops thrive from asymmetry, so I was surprised to not find my little square cards here. Instead, we have allies. At the beginning of the game, you set aside these ally charts, one more than the number of players, and as soon as someone gets a star, they claim one, which becomes more like a character class that you level up in, ranging from phenomenal damage to support to taking advantage of purchasable cards to general manipulation. While I wish there were about twice as many of these in the box, it is a really cool idea, both to give you a sense of leveled progression as you go through the game, and so that you can still maintain your favorite character design while playing as a different class from game to game to game, and has the added bonus of making all of your Tokyo and New York standees forward compatible, a welcome inclusion for King diehards like me. Which is where it comes down to, does it make good on the promise of co-op plus King of Tokyo? Which, yeah, it does. It captures the tactile dynamism of the original while also maintaining a good, if routine, clockworkian co-op automaton. Though simplicity doesn't mean ease, you're going to have to work to get your victory in King of Monster Island. There's going to be so many minions for you to contend with, and you'll have to make decisions about, do you build up supports? There's the ability to lock in dice that other players can use later in that sector. Do you go after the minions and then try to strike at the boss as quickly as possible? Or do you try to activate your star dice in the zones where the active boss dice are still residing, giving you extra bonus stars and knocking away those possible actions that the boss might get to in future turns? What I love most is the strong framework, the core AI logic, and tying both player and boss abilities to the exchangeable cards means that you can have the ability to do some really buck-wild stuff, which I think the game has capacity to do without sacrificing simplicity, though as is, the allies and 3 bosses play it safe and stay in the realm of normalcy. Still interesting, still challenging, but these are not the deeply asymmetric spirits and nuanced invaders of some other co-op games. As is, one lava-themed boss moves fast and attacks players nearby, another populates with more minions and does more damage to monsters in its space, and the last is big and beefy and shielded by the crystals it and its minions create. Tough, with accelerating efficacy, but not as epic as they could be. But at the end of the day, I've had a ton of fun with it, in spite of the giant cardboard volcano occasionally spitting out dice off the table, in spite of squandered opportunity for some truly imaginative character classes and bosses, in spite of the fact that it decided to one-up the big dumb floppy square rulebooks with the only thing worse, a big dumb floppy landscape-oriented rulebook. It manages to succeed in what it set out to be. I love King of Tokyo, and I love cooperative games, and this makes good on both. And that is our review, but let me know, what are some of your favorite sequels to long-standing favorite games? Oh, and who's your favorite King of Tokyo or New York or Monster Island character? Put it in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting, thanks for being such an amazing community. You know that I've been Jack for the Cardboard Herald.